1983, that would be October of 83, I was flown to Larry FLYNT's home. It was in Bel Air then, twice in October. He supported me in a political campaign. It was a special election to replace U.S. Congressman Larry McDonald, who was also a physician in Atlanta at Piedmont Hospital. I had done a medical malpractice book, 76 to 80, when April Fool's Day, when antifreeze was put in me, and I should have gone into a coma, kidney failure, and died. Instead, I lived, and it was horrifying. There's no words to explain what happened there, and yet no one's ever paid for any part of the ongoing crimes committed against me and terrorism against me in this country and my sons Mark and Scott. And I'll get to that in a minute. I wrote the book about mind control murders, and they were done in patterns because mind control is invisible and it's hard to prove. Part of the book's cases were, I mentioned Center for Disease Control and Emory University in it, the murders of Warren and Rosina Matthews, who were forensic pathologists at Larry McDonald, well, the hospital. I think other family members were there worked there too. Piedmont and hospital, and Jean Schrokerman was another case that she was suing psychiatrists. And my attorney, Eugene Kaiser, who was a former Fulton County DA in Atlanta, he was my attorney, and he had gotten a referral from Dr. Robicher, who was head of psychiatry and law at Emory, and he was a friend of mine indirectly. He included the cases in my book, although I'd never met him, in his book, The Power of Psychiatry, and they killed him after that book. He had written many that was published by Lippincott, famous, wonderful man, and they killed him, quite frankly, in about 81, death by natural cause. No, it wasn't. I wrote about mind control, modifying behavior. You can make a person, you can do their decision, make them for them, and they don't know it. So if you are head of a corporation, a president, a prime minister, you name it, and the decision making is made for you by a third party that's using mind control. It used to be as easy as a handset. Now then it's gotten all tech since I told about this. But anyway, I had antifreeze put in me. And Larry FLYNT was shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia, while I was doing the book in Marietta. And he flew me out to his home during that special election. I'd been put on the street, too, after then. And I'd worked for the district attorney, by the way, and passed this is a joke, a background check. And I just had antifreeze put in me and unspeakable laws done to me. That's been ongoing, but that period of time. And by the way, I had a letter from the FBI also June the 23rd of 79, and ongoing investigation, national security involved, the letter said. So Larry FLYNT shot, and I'm out there. I was picked up at the airport, and I had no money. I think I had maybe 2 dresses at the most and a pair of shoes that killed me. I got off, and he had sent a limo that he used to use, and the limo driver told me, he said, since he was shot, I've never seen him or been able to talk to him again. But tonight they called me to pick you up. Would you give him my card and ask him to give me a call? Well, I forgot about the card. But Mr. FLYNT, when I went in, he said, you don't have to tell me anything about yourself. I know everything there is to know. I know they were going to send you back a vegetable. I thought, well, he knows about the antifreeze because that's what it would have caused in my death. Send me back. I didn't understand till a little later, and by that he meant send me back to England. I had been kidnapped. I'm Victoria II, heir to the British crown, and my father is, I'm going to show this. This is what Flint an endorsement saying I knew who was responsible for his shooting, March the 6th. He mentions Larry McDonald. It's the agency doing it, and McDonald was part of the John Birch Society, etc. And he's considered a nice man, he was. This is my father, Edward VIII, that was forced out. And I even heard someone on Art Bell's program, was a rerun, but it was telling about, he mentioned my father, that he was forced out and that he was the good king and that his interpretation of the prophecies by Nostradamus was about my father being the good man, the good king, and was forced out. Well, I found out in '83 after being out at Flint's about he's my father and my kidnapping. I'm Victoria II, the heir, not Elizabeth. Her father is this man here who helped kidnap me, George II. Remember the movie? The King's Speech made him out to be this nice man. Here's supposed to be the Queen Mom. My father was married to Chloe O'Keefe, American, Catholic, Irish, and he never married Wallace Simpson. But history would tell you that she married a double. They became the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. Roosevelt, president. This is 39. They're planning my kidnapping of the year I was born. I was kidnapped in 41. So I'll say this again. Joe Kennedy was appointed ambassador by Roosevelt to England during that time, 36 to 41. 46, and they kicked him out. His sons, JFK and the older son, flew in and out, even spoke before the House of Commons. So they were taken out being boss of Great Britain back then. So, hey, they were responsible for my kidnapping. The Rothschilds, Rockefellers, again, the Rothschilds were kin to Elizabeth Bowes. Okay. Now, I want to get back to, I've had really bad, it was bad my whole life. It's been horrible. They've tortured me, and the FBI said at one point we're stacking them. I didn't know at that time they meant stacking the laws and the horrific crimes that this country in plain sight has done to me. I will say this, I have a chemical, I'm allergic to chemicals, and it's immune disorder. And if I'm in a place like I am now and you can control the vents, air, heating, or have someone come in a maintenance, spray and soak your bed, your carpet, there's all kinds of ways if the law doesn't work for you that you can circulate the air or put it in there and you can kill me over a matter of time. You have to get me away from the odors and fumes. And let me quote this. I quote this myself. I could have lived a normal life. Instead, my whereabouts has been controlled, toxic fumes put on me, soaked in it, and my body is torn apart. My kidneys, my heart, my lungs really scorched, and my liver, I would assume that would have to be the same. Now then, I want to repeat something Larry FLYNT said to me. He said the last time I was flown in there, and he paid for me to fly in, so he had invited me. I got there, and I pushed him around in a wheelchair and couldn't find a room. All of them were full in his home. And he said, well, I'm sorry, there's no room in the inn, I-N-N. And I think back, well, he did find me a room that was his daughter's room, and then she came in about 3 o'clock in the morning, and, of course, she wanted a room back, but she was nice. She slept in another room. But I got up, and I was flown back to Atlanta, and he had furnished me a car when I got there. For a year, I never saw him again. And after that, I had no car. I was on foot, and it was just sheer hell sleeping on the Appalachian Trail, freezing, starving. It's shocking how people will treat you because of the circumstances I'm in. And this is Veterans Day, and all over Roanoke Valley and over this country, they are honoring the veterans.